I was 15. My first boyfriend had talked me into giving him a blowjob. His and my first one. After some hesitation, I began, and everything seemed to be going as he described it would be. Halfway through, I noticed my chest felt really warm and wet. I looked down, and to my horror, there was an indescribable amount of diarrhea covering my white shirt. To this day, I'm not sure
Oh.
what happened. Of course, the real fun part was when I had to left my t-shirt over my head to get it off. How has that happened?
How see like to this day I don't know what happened. He shit on you.
He shit on her.
That's funny.
If I shit on you, would you laugh?
Not until she had taken
No.
the t-shirt off.
I'm shitting on the back of your neck next time you're over.
You don't expect me to come over then.
Oh mate, you've ruined that to be fair.
It was the first time I had sex with this guy, and he was hitting it from the back on his big brass bed. At one point, I was getting tired, so I went to turn my head to make eye contact. I had read that made guys crazy, and I realized that my head was stuck between the brass posts. I was like a kid in a banister and kept imagining firemen having to save me. My date sure couldn't save me. He, in fact, laughed so hard that he peed on the floor. Something tells me that's a lie.
Yeah,
Right, the
that's
first
not
and last time I had sex with this boy, he managed to go wrong on just about every level. 5 minutes in, he was sweating so much that he had to stop to ask me for a towel. My room was not hot, and it was definitely not a strenuous 5 minutes. Sadly, he was on top, so I can empathize with victims of waterboarding.
Oh god.
The dirty talk came in full sentences. Each one had a subject and predicate. Don't know what that means. Such as, "You are my sexy little socialist. He is a Republican, and I am not. Definitely not the venue for political discourse of any kind. Let alone when said during one of the many times that he stopped fucking so he could stare into my eyes. No joke, at least a dozen times he pulled back to give me this puppy dog face because somehow during this farce he decided we were soulmates. He kept going soft, which would have been so god awful if he didn't stop to blame the condom each time. That's awkward. Which wouldn't have been so
Okay.
god awful if he didn't blame the condom each time. And in the manner of a stand-up comic, what are these condoms made out of? Lead or something? Oh my, you do not blame the condom. What is he doing? Extra obnoxious when it's followed by, almost immediately by, I love how good it feels inside you. 6. He not only tried to jackhammer during our inaugural romp, he actually tried to force the mattress to spring him, and all this did was result in a really uncomfortable series of thrusts where his rhythm didn't match the mattress, and his cock just stabbed me a few times. 7. He kissed fine outside. He kissed fine outside of the bed, but once in bed, kissing was relegated to tiny pecks in rapid succession, and with his
Yeah,
eyes
we do
open.
that.
What kissing? Well, yeah, but it's different, isn't it?
What?
It's not like we're just like, and my eyes are fully open, looking you dead into your soul.
Oh.
I looked this woman in the window to her soul. And I said,
Bitch. I have large breasts, which he often claimed to be a fan of. Given that he's a big, rough and tumble kind of guy, I expect some decent groping out of this combo. No such luck. Instead of quality love and attention, my breasts were delicately patted with an open hand after the third time I told him that he wouldn't break me. 9. During sex, he actually apologized for being inappropriate. I'm not a subtle girl. You'll know when I want an apology from you, and it's a really slim chance I will ever... Wait, what's that? What's happened? Okay, hang on. And there's a... Where is it? Where was I? And there's a very slim chance that it will ever be while you're inside me. 10. When I had exhausted every other trick in my book, and this still wasn't over, I asked him to bend me over so he'd feel more comfortable objectifying me and I wouldn't have to see his face. I positioned the requisite hand to guide him into place, and after a couple of minutes realized that he still hadn't made contact. Despite all his talking, it wasn't until I moved my hand away that he made a joke about falling out that I realised he didn't know that he'd been fucking my hand instead of me.
Oh my god. Tim actually don't worry.
Huh?
Nothing.
Wait, what did you say?
Nothing.
What the fuck did you just say?
No, nothing.
We'll find out what she says tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say something and then I realised you wouldn't like me saying it.
You wouldn't like me. I wouldn't like you saying it.
No, it wasn't about you.
Oh, okay. So it's happened to you before.
No, but some people like have no like self-control. Like they literally don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I know. I know
Anyway,
exactly. I know exactly who you're talking
That guy
about.
literally
As
sounds like the sex
Yeah.
Hitler. Eh?
Huh?
Oh, what a guy! He sounds like a sex Hitler. Is what I said.
Oh shit.
Uh,
well. Do you want me to read this one?
sure, go ahead.
A few years ago, my French boyfriend at the time took me to Paris to meet his family.
Where are you finding all of these?
His
Yeah,
mother.
Where are you?
Oh, these are real stories from my past.
Oh, right, okay. So that guy that was fucking you.
Yeah, no, he just started fucking my hand. It was really weird.
He can-
Anyway,
And your big tits.
yeah, no. Well, I do have
Three
large
of them.
breasts. Right. A few years ago, my French boyfriend at the time took me to Paris to meet his family. His mother, a haughty Parisienne who believes that her only son is God, and that no girl could possibly be classy enough to deserve him. Their regard is mutual. He worships his mother as much as she worships him. One evening after champagne-soaked dinner, she left to go to the theatre, expecting that she'd been gone for several hours. We started having regular sex, and then anal sex on a couch adjacent to the table at which we'd had dinner. Things kept getting hotter, and my boyfriend started fucking my ass with the slim end of a champagne bottle, and this felt good at first, but then I realised that something felt off. I slowed him down in an attempt to understand what on earth my body was doing, and I realised that my bowels were moving, and I kind of realised that it was too late to stop what was happening. At this already godforsaken moment, we hear a key in the door, and his mother pops into the room. The bitch had forgotten her shawl or something, so there I am, naked on the couch, while her son, also naked, is holding a champagne bottle that is obviously deeply embedded in my ass. We shriek, and he yanks out the bottle, and immediately comes out a large, dark brown, smelly piece of shit. It just rolls out. This felt like it was happening in slow motion, and I kept trying to stop it, but it couldn't. It lands on a couch. The French boy and I broke up shortly thereafter. I dumped him, pun intended. That's obviously she was going to shit herself because the bottle would be open and it would be acting like a plunger.
What?
Yeah, but she might have been able to hold it in.
It's
Yeah,
not.
how's
no,
that any different?
no, it's like it's different to actually getting fucked in the ass
How do you know?
because it was my boyfriend.
Oh,
It was my boyfriend, isn't it? These are my stories.
Oh yeah, you are. So who's your French boyfriend whose couch you shit on then?
Oh, it was
Yeah,
Pierre Emerick.
Yeah. Oh.
I liked him.
You liked Pierre?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He joined me in them for a while.
Did he?
Yeah. Oh no, you weren't awake. Don't worry.
I don't know what goes on with me when I'm asleep.
Huh?
When I'm
I
asleep,
think you want to.
When you're asleep, there's a lot of stuff that goes on.
I'm not staying around anymore. I'm scared.
Right, go on here. Says the weirdo at McDonald's, aka the day I lost some of my innocence.
Go on then.
This is on a different subreddit, by the way. When I was growing up, my dad and I lived with my grandparents. My parents had me while they were teenagers, and my dad got full custody because he lived with my grandparents, and my mum was just living with random friends, going from house to house every few weeks. I was the daughter my grandparents never had, and they doted on me. When I was 6, my grandpa passed away from cancer. This story takes place about 5 months after he died. This was
Why do we need to know that?
funny. This was, I believe, a Saturday and my dad was at work. My gram decided to take me to McDonald's for lunch, and like any 6-year-old, I was really excited. So we go to the McDonald's that was about 1.5 miles away from our house, order our lunch, and sit down at a table to eat. At the time, we were the only ones eating inside. About 10 minutes after we sit down, a scraggly-looking man walked in, orders a meal, and sits down at the table diagonally in front of us to the left. The area we lived in was middle and upper middle class, so this guy looked pretty out of place. Graham had her back to him, but I could see him perfectly. The man was at least in his mid-50s, with really wiry, scraggly and dirty white hair and beard. He had on blue shorts and a white t-shirt, also kind of dirty, and sandals. It's amazing, this happened 21 years ago and I can remember it like it was yesterday. So, fucking hell, this is quite long. So I noticed under the table the man had something dark, pink and wrinkly on his lap. And he kept glancing at me and rubbing it every few seconds.
You'll
Oh,
giggle.
Wait, what?
You'll giggle. You're like.
In kindergarten, we learned about stranger danger and good touch, bad touch, and learned which parts of our body people weren't supposed to touch. It clicked in my 6-year-old head that this man was not supposed to have that out like that, nor doing what he was doing. I got really queasy and nervous. I didn't want to tell my gram right there and there because I thought the man would hurt us. If my dad had been there, I would have said something because my dad was my hero and could take on anybody. Instead, I put my Happy Meal box in front of my face and my view of the guy would be blocked.
Oh my
I had
god.
about half of my food left, but I'd lost my appetite. Gram asked me if I was full, and I just nodded yes. I was, and still am, very petite, and not finishing a full meal was nothing new for me. She asked me if I wanted to go play in the play area before we left, but I just shook my head and quietly said, I want to go home. Gram cleared our table and we left. When we got home, I was still really nervous. I felt like I was going to throw up. Gram asked me, what's the matter, Munchkin? Her pet name for me, and I started crying and told her about the man at McDonald's and what I saw. My gram didn't panic and freak out or get hysterical. She just hugged
That
me and
is your
said,
granddad.
it's alright. Go in your room and play and I'll take care of it. She wiped my tears, gave me a blubbery Kool-Aid burst. Oh, blueberry Kool-Aid burst. Kool-Aid.
Blubbery.
And told our dog Patches to go to my room with me, which she did. After I was out of earshot, Graham called the McDonald's and told her about the guy. He was still there. The
Oh,
manager
wow.
told Graham he'd take care of it and call her back. An hour later, the manager calls back and tells Graham they had called the police, who showed up in record time and arrested the guy. When the police told the man to stand up, his franken beans were still hanging out of his shorts.
No way.
The manager also told Graham that she'd bring me back for a month's worth of coupons for free Happy Meals. Aw, yeah, nigga.
Oh, that's some real shit right there, boy.
Real shit. I have another story about a weirdo that happened a few years later, and this time my dad was there. Believe me, what my dad did to him was not pretty, but that's a story for another time.